Dr. Brett Spradlin here at Divine Design Natural Health. And is there a crowd in this room? All right, we're going to get right to it. But first, let's check out the website here. I want to show you something that we've been working on feverishly for a while now, and it's finally completed. We have added all of the, if you go here to the patient information tab, okay, as Jonathan is showing, go over to scroll over to, so click on the patient information tab and then click on videos. And right here, like this was the last class we did 2 weeks ago on May 23rd. You're So Filthy. And we have The Most Evil Substance in the World, Lies Doctors Tell Part 5. And you can see over here the links to your so far uncensored video platform of choice. In which case you can click on, if you're a BitChute person, if you're a Rumble person, whatever, BitChute, Brighteon, Facebook, Odyssey, and Rumble.
Good job.
So these are all going back. Scroll down, Jonathan. Show us how far back. The Cult of Modern Death Care. We've got your number. What's in those supplements? You're full of it. Hands in the Air. The 5G Pentagram. The Cure for Cancer. Medical Professionals. Diseases that don't exist. Shotpocalypse. Darkness to Light. Pregnancy and Birthing. Land of the Free. Home of the Craze. Stress. The Death Cascade. All the way down. Plant Medicine. Plant Power for the Next Plague. We Heart You Too. Hindsight's 2020. Darkness to Light. Lies Doctors Tell. Part 4. Change Your Mind, Change Your Life. Keep going. All the way down. Now, we're not on all 5 platforms back here. I don't think we're going to mess with it. But we're go all the way back to the beginning of 2020. We've got everything there. Most everything's on BitChute and Rumble, but we have, I think, all of 2021 on those 5 platforms. So you can watch them anywhere. Rumble is okay. BitChute's okay. It's hard to find stuff on those two. So we put them on Odyssey and we put them on Brighteon because A, they don't censor, and B, they're a lot easier to find there. Now, another thing. Yeah, thank you. And I applaud, Nadia did all of that. She's a genius with electronics. Go back to the top, Jonathan, and show us the new patient tab and go to new patients real quick. Sorry, I should have told you. I'm sorry. I want you to see this. We've completely changed how people contact us. I wasn't going to announce this, but it's appropriate. We should do this. We were getting so many phone calls for the last year and a half after the COVID's hoax dropped and people started realizing that the doctors and nurses were trying to kill them. They decided to get outside the medical system, and so they started just calling around places like here and trying to get in to us or other places, or specifically when people got the clot shot and then they realized what happened and they wanted to get in here. We started getting a lot of really weird phone calls and messages and emails. So some of the girls were on the phone with people. Why are you smiling? You know what I'm talking about. You're getting a lot of weird phone calls the last 2 years, aren't you? She works in a medical office. A lot of weird phone calls, huh? So the last 2 years it's gotten really funky. So some of the girls were spending the entire day on the phone with people answering, for lack of a better term, stupid questions. There are stupid questions. You'll hear people lie to you and tell you there's no such thing as a stupid question. There is stupid questions. I'm not going to lie to you. There are stupid questions. Like when you're on the website and then you call us and you ask, what do we do? That's a stupid question. So we went here. We changed how you contact us. Pretty soon, we're almost here. We're almost done with it. But pretty soon, you'll call. There'll be a phone tree. Are you a current patient? Press 1. Are you someone who wants to be a patient? Press 2. It will go to a message for a current patient. You'll come right to us. For future patients, for people who want to be patients, it'll say, go to the website, do this and this and this, because we're done. We're done answering stupid questions. So we go here, schedule a consultation. How do I become a patient? And this is all right on the website. You watch the office tour, so they're understanding what we do. There's no more of this, what do you guys do? Then you read the frequently asked questions. So that'll handle all the, do you take my insurance? Oh, well, why don't you take my insurance? Well, that's mean of you to not take our insurance. Handles all of it. Right? And then they can also watch our videos, go to our videos page, like what I just showed you, and say, hey, this dude knows what he's talking about. All this stuff makes sense. From there, you schedule a consultation, then you complete the paperwork. Once you're done with watching the stuff, then you can actually call us and hit 1. Then you fill out the paperwork. Then you come to the consultation. Then you do the new patient exam. Then you can do the report of findings. This is all in one day. And then you do subsequent visits. So what we're doing is cutting down on phone time and inefficiency in this office where we can have all of that done on somebody's own time in their own home. if they're coming to a place and they don't know what we do and they don't know where we're located and they don't know, then they have no business coming here, right? So we're cutting down on all that. That's something massive that we just changed, and the phone tree will be done very soon. So I just wanted to point that out to you. What we're trying to do is make this more exclusive, more VIP, red carpet, velvet rope, rather than just, oh yeah, bring us all your clot shots. You know, bring everybody in here who's going to have a stroke and go and land up dying as in a pile, you know, at the end of the day. No, we just, you know, some people, they just want the pharmakia. We don't want that. We want people who want health. We don't want the pharmakia. We want the people who want health. We want to help everybody, but that's impossible, especially now. All right, we ready? Our top 20 most common word for word, frequently asked questions. First slide. Does that make sense? Do you think that would answer handle some of the amount of time you spend on the phone, Jacqueline? 100%, right? You weed them all out before they even pick up the phone. Isn't that great? So here's what the food. WTF. What does WTF stand for? What the food? It's a four-letter F word. Food. Food. You had a question, or you were wanting to answer what the F word was? I was like, oh, I bet you know. I bet you know. Our top 20 most common word-for-word FAQs. This is a review. This was all in a previous class. We're not answering all these tonight. If you go back and watch the previous class, we already do. Number one, I hear this from everyone. Not one single person starts here that tells us, yeah, I eat a lot of crap. Nobody tells us that. They all say this: I already eat healthy. What could I possibly change? You don't eat healthy. That's why you're sick. It's impossible for a healthy person who eats healthy, who eats really healthy, it's impossible for them to be sick. And vice versa. Number two, this is most common word for word, frequently asked questions. How can my organic, non-GMO sprouted bread be bad for me? That's the number two. Number three, well, if I can't eat bread, what do I eat for breakfast, lunch, or dinner? See the dependence, the worshipfulness of bread, right? Next, why can't I just eat the veggies instead of doing a shake? Number five, can I just use powdered greens? Number six, I juice my fruit. How can fruit be bad for me? Number seven, what about when we travel? Number eight, what am I supposed to feed my kids and pets? Want to know why your kids and pets have cancer and heart disease and all kinds of stuff? Want to know why they have allergies? Because of what you're feeding them. So what am I supposed to feed my kids and pets? Well, I don't know. Once you get healthy, what did you eat here? You should probably feed your kids and pets the same type of stuff, right? Number nine, I eat plenty of tilapia. Isn't that good for me? Who's laughing? Who laughed at that? Because you were doing it. Right? Number 10, do I have to stop bacon, pork, sausage, and ham? Well, I don't know. Do you have a pig problem? Sounds like you have a pig problem. You got 4 products in one sentence. How does that work? You've been doing your homework. Number 11, aren't the probiotics in my yogurt good for me? Number 12, I'm a vegan or vegetarian and only eat plant-based foods. Why am I still sick? I hear that on an almost daily basis. And there's an easy answer to that question. Number 13, I drink spring, distilled, filtered, alkaline water. Isn't a Brita good enough? Number 14, I only drink diet soda. Isn't that better for me? That's what people think. They think, oh, well, it doesn't have sugar. It's got an artificial chemical that was designed to kill humans. That's obviously better for me, right? Number 15, isn't oatmeal good for my digestion? Number 16, how about this new MCT oil? Number 17, can I just buy my protein and collagen at the store? Number 18, what about dessert? Number 19, but I only ate a bite, little bit or half this time. It's always interesting how people minimize their sickness. Are you on a CPAP? Yeah, I've only been on the CPAP for 12 years. Oh, only 12 years. Okay, that makes sense. So why do I feel horrible? See, they always minimize. They always minimize their disease or their destruction. They always minimize it. Yeah, well, I watch TV, but it's only for a few hours a night. But I don't watch commercials. We fast forward through the commercials because we record it. I hear that all the time. All day long, I hear that. Number 20, how am I supposed to swallow pills? So those are our top 20 most common word for word. Word for word. I mean, we sat down one day, came up with them. What do we hear all the time? That's it. So if you go back and you watch the class, put this on your list of things to do. You will learn more about how to keep yourself healthy from this one class called What Do I Eat? And it's on the page that I just showed you. If you have not watched that yet, go back and watch. And that class answers every single one of those questions, because if they're a frequently asked question here in this office, I know everybody in this room is probably wondering the answers to some of those similar questions. We're not going to cover any of those tonight. Those, I just wanted to show you the top 20 heavy duties. But right now, tonight, we're going to cover these for obvious reasons. What we will cover tonight. Oh, this right here. Oh, if I had a nickel. What about grains? Number 2, we're going to cover, aren't carbohydrates necessary in the diet? In other words, people are saying, don't I have to have carbohydrates? I'll die without carbohydrates, won't I? Number 3, what about fats and oils? Well, we shouldn't eat fats and oils because fat makes you fat. And yeah, my doctor told me I shouldn't eat any oils and stuff like that. I need to eat margarine. Number 4, which fats and oils should I eat? Now that you've convinced me that fats and oils won't kill me, what should I eat? Number 5, what about salad dressings? Because if I'm going to eat this salad, if I'm going to eat this green crap, I got to slather it with ranch. Is there like a healthy ranch? Number 6, what about cooking oils? Well, because if I'm going to have to cook fish, I'm going to have to do something. I'm going to have to oil it up. Number 7, what about seasonings? These are all easy questions. But for the most part, I'm going to be librarian to you tonight, and we're going to read word for word. What about cooking oils? What about seasonings? Number 8, what about milk? What about milk? Well, I'm allergic to milk. No, you're not. Well, I'm lactose intolerant. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not allergic to milk. You're allergic to what you thought was milk from your childhood. And then number 9, what about sugar? I have a one-word answer for that tonight. I've simplified sugar. One-word answer. We're going to cover all these tonight. You think we can get through it in 45 minutes? Good. Put on your big girl britches. We're going to fly. Ready? You have to understand this first. Dr. Royal Lee, this was probably in the 40s. I couldn't find the date on this one right here, but I will read this to you so you understand. The forces of heredity definitely tend to inflict upon unborn children the penalties of poor judgment and carelessness that their mothers and fathers exercised in selecting their food. Yeah, you might want to take a screenshot of this one. These penalties accumulate, each generation paying a greater price in lost health. A community that fails to take notice of dietary problems soon dies out. Think about your family reunions. Dr. Weston A. Price found in his travels and studies of primitive peoples that they had accumulated a remarkable folklore of nutritional information passed down from generation to generation. Now, we can see that this is not so remarkable. The existence of the people he studies is actually dependent upon that folklore. Those families who failed to accurately transmit this information, to take the trouble to learn the necessary facts of life, dwindled into nothing. We think we are of higher intelligence, but are actually being subjected to that same test. You might want to take a screenshot of that. That's the nugget from this whole night. That's it summed up in a nutshell. If you don't learn this, you will eventually dwindle into nothing if you do not learn this. You're already seeing people in your family that have dwindled. You've already seen people, past tense, that have dwindled. They're dwindling into nothing because they failed to learn what we're teaching you. And just FYI, Dr. Royal Lee, Weston A. Price, you want to know who those are? Go back and watch the What Do I Eat class, and also watch the What's in Those Supplements class, because I talk about these guys. The titans, the Nikola Tesla, Henry Ford, the of nutrition, the heavy-duty founders of nutrition. Royal Lee founded a company that coined the term multivitamin, and that's stuff that you have in your everyday vocabulary, stuff that Royal Lee came up with. So, what the food? Here, let's do testimonial time, and then we begin the first battle of the meme wars. You'll see what I mean here in just a minute.
Okay, this patient wrote, prior to Divine Design, I struggled daily with nausea and indigestion, and I could never pinpoint the trigger. After about 4 months at Divine Design and having just finished the purification program, I'm not experiencing any nausea or digestion issues. I'm getting my nutrition in line, and I love being able to eat without any uncomfortable side effects.
Easy peasy. Simple. Simple stuff. simple stuff. Your gastroenterologist would have you think that you need a stomach scope and stapling and all kinds of other stuff. Okay, meme wars. How come nobody died suddenly before the vaccine rollout? Have you all seen this? You've seen people dying suddenly, like in all the newspapers and everywhere. Weird, the sports figures and people just dying suddenly. Never heard of that before, did you? Next. Fun design fact, the colors red and gold are often used to make people feel hungry. I don't know if you've noticed, but all of the logos, you think they haven't figured out your neurology? They've been doing this a long time. I don't know if you've noticed, but they're all the same colors, the same shade of red, the same shade of gold, right? So these people have figured out how to get into your brain through your taste buds. So it's time you shut it off. Well, I just need to have shut up. Shut up at the well. Well, that's minimizing. Well, that's you're making an excuse. Shut up. Stop it, or I'll bury you alive in a box. People are way too pansy these days. They got to grow up. But yeah, interesting. All the same colors. My teacher told me guns kill people. I told her my pencil failed my math exam. Isn't that great? You're going to want to take some pictures of these puppies. There's some fire coming through the meme cannon. Next. Things have seriously gone to shit when you live in a first world country with the most advanced medical resources in human history, yet the word on the street is to avoid going to hospital for fear of being murdered by the staff. And I have told people this for years. I've said, you live in the most technologically advanced country in known history of civilization of humans. Yet everyone you know has cancer, heart disease, stroke, diabetes. Everybody's got every vaccine, every drug, every surgery, every procedure. In the United States, the sickest country in the world, has the most technology. And this guy's saying the same thing about 1 hour ago. Look at that. Before they collected all these wedding rings, guess what they collected before that? Yep. All the guns. I don't care. You're not a gun person. You better be. Next. What do you mean, they, them? They who? I'm talking to one person here. Because there's more than one of them. And they're possessed. They're demonized. That's what you're talking to. When somebody tells you they, them as their pronouns, you're not talking to just one of them. Interesting, isn't it? This is one of the best memes ever. This whole series that happened around the corona hoax, the flu jab, the Rona jab, the monkeypox jab. And what I appreciate so much is, look at this guy, just laid out. Perfect form, hands extended behind him. He's not even grimacing. He's just jumping the bull. Jumping the bull, completely, live, jumping the bull. That's not photoshopped, that's real. It's a really famous meme. Okay, people don't appreciate it the way I do. Okay, next. Healthcare. Yep, totally. Yep, and if you don't like it, you're a misinformation nut. You're a conspiracy theorist. If you don't take the poison that we're giving you for free, because it should be free, right? When you're depopulating the world. Next. Here you go. Biden's USDA. Schools must embrace transgender agenda or be deprived of food. Yep, while you're paying taxes for your kids to be brainwashed. Isn't that interesting? Funny, huh? Yeah, it's all about health. Sure is. If you still believe that, you're in the wrong building. So that's just the beginning, battle one of the meme wars. So what about grains? This is a very, very, very big question. Here we go. I'm just going to read it for you. And if at the end, save your questions, write your questions down. There's going to be a lot of information. Properly grown and prepared whole grains will add high-quality vitamins, minerals, proteins, and fiber to your diet. Unfortunately, many commercial grains are anything but properly grown and prepared. These modern grains are grown on badly depleted soil, covered with chemical fertilizers, sprayed with toxic pesticides, and are then stripped of their few remaining nutrients in order to preserve shelf life for shipping purposes. So when people say, well, I say, stop right there. Well, but it's organic. Okay. That's okay. But listen, how much of stuff, what do you eat too much of? Everyone would say grains, right? Because they don't understand the grain. That's just a sugar that just breaks down to your body. It's sugar. You want to know why you can't lose weight? You want to know why your hormones are screwed? You're still eating sugar, just in a different form. It's not protein, and it's not fat. It is straight sugar. How do I know? Ask a cow. How does the cow turn sunlight and water into meat from grass? Okay, so let's keep going. Commercial refinement of whole wheat berries removes the bran, which is the outer part, and the germ, which is the inner part. Okay, the nutritionally dense inner part. The nutritional value of wheat is contained in those two parts. They each contain fiber, vitamins B and E, many other minerals. Now, when we say vitamins versus minerals, let me distinguish. Your vitamins, A through G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all your vitamins. Minerals are anything that you would notate on the periodic table. Anything that sounds like a dirt, like calcium, magnesium, selenium, zinc, iron, all of that. All of those are minerals. Phosphorus, manganese, all that, right? Difference between vitamins and minerals. People don't know the difference. I just told you the difference. The remains are called flour, which consists primarily of pure starch. The few minerals in flour are not absorbed properly without the nutrients in the bran and the germ. So the bran and germ are often fed to animals. Farmers know them to produce strong, healthy stock. So the bran and the germ don't go to you. The bran and the germ go to the cattle because the cattle are worth money. Ask Joel Wallach, the veterinarian, right? Ask him. Average life expectancy in the United States for, well, wait a minute. I think I was going to add that into this class. Never did. I said, it's just too much. Average life expectancy in the United States, 75.5. Average life expectancy of a medical doctor, 58. So you're taking your health advice from people who are going to not outlive you. Interesting, huh? So he collected obituaries of doctors and lawyers and all this. But primitive societies, people live to be 120 to 140 years old. Interesting, huh? So Joel Wallach figured it out. He's a veterinarian. This right here, farmers know them to produce strong, healthy stock. So they feed the cattle and the chickens and the pigs the bran and the germ, and they feed you the flour. That's why. That's why grains, don't let grains be the staple of your diet, okay? Next. Freshly milled grains contain fats and oils that are as perishable as any other raw food. A sliced apple turns brown from oxidation, which is the same process that causes the oils in milled grain to quickly go rancid. An experienced miller can discern how many hours have passed since flour was ground simply by tasting it. To overcome the oxidation, commercial processors use chlorine-derived bleaches to strip the remaining oils. The flour is preserved, but the toxic chemical residues are left behind in every bite. Synthetic chemical vitamin isolates are then sprayed to compensate for the loss of natural nutrients. You'll see that on cereals that say fortified with essential vitamins and minerals. What that means is it was sprayed with a synthetic boost to replace some of the stuff that was sucked out of it by the food processor. Or else the ingredient list, or else the nutrition list on the back would say nothing but sugar. But this way they can say, oh, it's fortified with selenium and zinc and iron, because they sprayed synthetic selenium and zinc and iron on it. It's a scam, and you're being ripped off, and you're financing your own funeral. That's what you're doing. Dead food does not spoil. Commercial flour products will last for months. The very beauty of living food is considered by processed food companies to be an inconvenience. Interesting, isn't it? Profit is paramount to feeding people properly. A living body needs living food to build living cells and tissue. Let that sink in. I'll read it again. A living body needs living food to build living cells and living tissue. Dead food slowly kills you. So if you have a dead body, guess what? Or if you have a tired body, if you have fatigue, what do I know immediately? If you have fatigue, I know that you're not eating real food because your energy comes from food. If you're tired all the time, chronic fatigue syndrome, I have the answer. The marketplace has responded. Some organically grown, chemical-free whole grains are available in stores. Wheat, brown rice, millet, rye, oats, buckwheat, yellow and blue corn, spelt, amaranth, and quinoa. Right there, I just lost half of you because you're going, oh, good. Oh, there's some grains. There's some grains I can eat. You have to ask yourself, why are you drawn to the grains? But remember, a home flour mill allows one to bake or cook these grains immediately after milling. This is the only way to avoid oxidation while guaranteeing freshness. Flour should be used within 20 minutes of grinding. People will go to the store now and they'll say, oh, I got to do brown rice, millet, rye, oats. Oh, I can do oats. Oh, thank God I can do oats. You have to ask yourself what's in there that's good for you. Hardly anything. It's just straight sugar. I put that in there just so people know. This is not a life sentence. Once you get healthy, you can go back to eating a little bit of this stuff. But what you're eating right now, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, what do people eat for breakfast that's wheat? cereal, bread, donuts, toast. Huh? Bagels. Okay, so that's just breakfast. What do they eat with bread in it for lunch? Sandwiches, pizza, noodles, right? All this stuff. Wheat, rice. They'll go down to the Chinese place, get a buttload of rice, a little bit of rice. They'll have a couple beers. They might even have some oats for breakfast. I think I left that one out. Blue corn, chips. They'll go down to the Mexican place and eat a bunch of flour tortillas, corn tortillas, stuff like that, right? What do the people have for dinner that's bread? Pizza, garlic toast, noodles, pasta. See? Every meal, the main thing people eat, bread, wheat, right? So don't get your hopes up. Replace it with living vegetables, right? Next. There are other ways of accessing whole grain nutrition. You got to soak it, you got to sprout it, or you got to ferment it. Phytic acid, which is the phosphorus in the bran, combines with iron, calcium, magnesium, copper, zinc, all the minerals, right? In the intestinal tract, then it blocks their absorption. So when you're eating all this stuff, if you don't do soaking, sprouting, or fermenting, which I don't recommend people do in the first place, but if you're going to do it, this is how people did it for thousands of years, might be something you might want to look into. Whole grains also contain inhibitors of enzymes that interfere with digestion. Some people say, oh, it's all whole grain. It's organic whole grains. Yeah, I know. I get it. But you're having a problem with the phytic acid and you're having a problem with the enzyme inhibitors. Traditional societies soaked or fermented their grains before eating them. These processes neutralize the two things I just mentioned, making the nutrients in the now pre-digested grains more available, right? Soaking, sprouting, and old-fashioned sour leavening accomplish the pre-digestion in your kitchen. How many people are going to do that? Very few. But you don't have to, because you don't have to eat a lot of that stuff. You can eat vegetables and get most of the nutrition out of that, and you don't have to mess with grains and all the sugar. With the consumption of improperly prepared grains so high in America today, you've become aware of grain allergies, digestive disorders, leaky gut syndrome. The list goes on and on and on, on and on and on and on. Crohn's disease, celiac, leaky gut, IBD, IBS, you name it. Our ancestors in non-industrialized societies had the wisdom to know that grains must be properly prepared in order for proper digestion. Make sense? Now, that leads to the next question. What about carbohydrates? Don't I have to have carbohydrates? I'll die without carbohydrates. Nope. Carbohydrate form of energy is not essential to a state of health because the body can make glucose for energy from the two other things you can eat. What would that be? Fats and proteins. There's only three things you can eat: carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Write this down, memorize it, it's easy. Carbohydrates, fats, proteins. I tell this every food class we ever teach. This is mind-blowing because people have never been taught this simple thing. The magical number 3, right? Father, Son, Holy Spirit, time, space, matter, you name it. There's 3 things. It's interesting that your body can only digest 3 things: carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, right? What is your body made of, though? Fats and proteins. So if I want to replace your body and rebuild your body, what do you have to make sure that you get? Fats and proteins. But wait. Most people in the United States, just as we read about the grains thing and about all, they're eating too much of which one? Carbohydrates, fats, or proteins? Carbohydrates. They'll eat a buttload of carbohydrates and then go spend 5 hours on the treadmill at the gym saying, I'm working off the what? Calories. I'm working off the calories. I'm working off the carbs, right? It's a fallacy. It's fake. It doesn't work. And right here proves it. You can make glucose for energy from the other 2 things that you just ate: fats and proteins. When people do the keto thing, the ketosis thing, what are they doing? They're burning fat. And it's a fad. That'll be gone. Keto, 20 years, you'll never hear a ketogenic diet again. This is a fact proven by Dr. Weston A. Price in his studies of indigenous people who lived in perfect health on only land animal and fish sources of fats and proteins. Whale blubber and seals, baby seals, clubbed properly over the head, medium rare. This is the way that they did it. I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. Reasonably healthy person can also maintain balance by including unrefined complex carbohydrates, such as grains, vegetables, and fruits in the diet. Reasonably healthy person maintain balance, meaning not eating it every single meal as your main source of food. Does that make sense? See? We're dispelling some of the stuff that you've been taught. I know it's hard, but next. Aren't carbohydrates necessary in the diet? Just remember this too. This is point number 2 about the carb thing. There are things called essential fatty acids, and what that word means in medicine, in healthcare, in nutrition, essential means you have to get it from someplace else because your body can't make it. Remember this. Fats give you essential fatty acids. or you'll hear me refer to them as EFAs here very shortly. We're going to talk more about this. EFAs. Proteins give you essential amino acids. That right there, number 3, if you put that in your mind, always remember that, you don't need carbohydrates. There is no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. They're not essential to human survival. So what does the government do? What do the food processors do? The red and gold from earlier on, what do? They make sure that everything you're eating is quickly processed, cheaply acquired sugar. That's why people are dying. That's why everybody has heart disease, cancer, stroke, diabetes. It's all coming from sugar. FYI. FYI. Does that make sense? Those are 2 little nuggets right there that you will never hear anywhere else. Your nutritionist won't tell you. Your gastroenterologist that's stapling your stomach and removing your guts won't tell you. Okay? Commercial break. Come on up, Lauren. Wow, tough crowd. There we go.
This patient wrote, before starting at Divine Design, I was constantly moody and exhausted and just didn't feel like I was able to do all the things I needed to do from day to day. Now I am much more energetic and clear-headed. Changing my diet alone has yielded incredible results for me. I have much more energy, clear skin, less mood swings, and have gained the ability to focus.
Well, I just can't concentrate. I know exactly why. Well, I have no energy. I know exactly why. I can't get anything done at work. I know exactly why. Let's check this out. Meme wars. They somehow managed to demonize cough, sniffles, and having no symptoms at all, but normalized strokes, blood clots, and neurological disorders, and died suddenly. Y'all know this is happening, right? It's not on the news. You're not going to see this. You're not going to see all the people that are dying from this crap. It was nicely, oh, I love this. Me the entire month of June. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. What if sudden infant death syndrome and sudden adult death syndrome are caused by the same thing? Got quiet in here. What's sudden infant death syndrome caused by? You'll never hear anyone say this. The vaccines. What's sudden adult death syndrome caused by? The vaccines. Strange, huh? You say something like that, YouTube kick you off. Facebook kick you off. It's crazy. But yeah, how many dads went to prison for shaken baby syndrome? I want to know, right? Whew, crazy. So basically, the people who want us to have no food, no gas, no baby formula, no religion, and no free speech also want us to have no guns. Interesting. How do you feel about that? Keep it to yourself. I know. I just wanted to see it float through his brain. If it breathes, vaccinate it. If it's vaccinated, vaccinate it more. If it dies, call it sudden adult death syndrome. And if it complains, call it an anti-vaxxer. That's about it. Yep, if it's information they don't like, it's just misinformation, right? Next. This is the University of Southern California, the Keck School of Medicine, the cover, their magazine called USC Health. That right there in the United States of America. But if you say anything, you're a racist, bigot, homophobe, right? Go ahead. How to kill monkeypox. You know what? This is how you kill corona too. Next. It's how you kill whatever else they're going to drop on the media. Life hacks. Number 1, if Bill Gates is involved, avoid it. Number 2, if Biden says it's true, it's fake. Number 3, the CDC and FDA says it's safe, it's dangerous. Number 4, if Congress makes a law to help you, it will eventually kill you. And number 5, if the media agrees, it's a lie. It's a bald-faced lie. Next. We're all paying back the free stimulus money now with inflation through the roof. This is the price we pay for free money. Nothing's free. I wondered when they wrote checks to all the businesses. I'm calling my CPA, my accountants and everything going, hey, they're giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars to some of these businesses. Yeah, well, yeah, Brett, you got to sign up. You got to do this. Like, what's the back door? What's the Trojan horse? What's the catch? The government's giving away free money. What's the catch? Like, what am I signing up for? Just do it. Everybody's doing it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Everybody's going for a money grab on all the money that the government's giving out. I'm like, I smell a rat. Nothing's free. I know they're standing next to the money printers. I know they can turn it on and brrr. I know that. But here we are, $10 a gallon for gas is on the horizon, right? Next. What about fats and oils? It's another one too. Why is your skin water repellent? Healthy skin is rich. You have natural oils from EFAs, essential fatty acids, found in food. Your skin is made of what you eat. The essential fatty acids that you eat become your skin. The essential fatty acids, the protein, everything that you eat eventually becomes everything from your bone marrow to your skin, to your irises of your eyes, to your blood. The only reason you don't die is because those cells that are dying make copies of themselves before they die. What do they use to make the copies of themselves? The food you eat. I just demolished everything that your medical doctors have ever told you in about 2 sentences. They lie to your face, and they get you to pay for your own demise with your premiums, your deductibles, your copays, your coinsurance, your prescription costs, all the while thinking you got a deal because you got your prescription bottle of pills, poison, for only $5. See? It's easy because right there, your skin is made of what you eat. So when I look at your body, I'm seeing what you ate for the last 7 years. So if your skin sucks and your eyes are swollen and your hair's gray and you've got, your skin is all falling off and all crepey, guess what? Your diet sucks. And I know it sucks because I see the color of your tongue, the color of your nails, the color of your eyes. I hear your voice. I can tell how healthy you are just by looking at you sometimes. So these oils help your skin retain moisture from the inside. If you have dry skin or scalp, you're likely suffering from a deficiency of essential fatty acids. That abbreviation you'll see numbers of times. So consumption of hydrogenated oils. Hydrogenated means hydrogen is added. That's all it is. Hydrogenated oils and oleo fat products like margarine and processed cooking oils can aggravate skin problems. So if you eat crappy fats that are made by an atheist in a laboratory, and then those crappy fats get assimilated into the tissues of your body, what's going to happen to your body? Is it going to live longer or fall apart faster? That's why you're seeing people's joints fall apart. Your aunts and uncles and cousins that are having fake hips and fake knees and fake tits put in, guess what? Their bodies are falling apart because they're eating crap food, right? Why are they getting younger but more implants? Because their bodies are falling apart. So when you consume this stuff like margarine, processed cooking oils, you have eczema, you have allergies, you have skin conditions, contact dermatitis. I mean, go to a dermatologist and just get hey, what are your top 10 diagnoses? What are the top 10 things you see? I'll guarantee you. Psoriasis, eczema, atopic dermatitis. Boom, right there. And all of those things, how are they going to treat them? Drugs, steroid cream, right? And if they don't do that, they'll cut it off. They'll cut it, they'll freeze it, they'll burn it. So they'll surgery or drugs. That's how they're going to fix everything, right? Can a doctor do anything besides drugs and surgery? No. 30 people in this room? 30 people in this room, and you're telling me a doctor can't do anything else other than drugs and surgery?
Yep, that's right.
That's right. You're right. Well, he can send me for a CAT scan. Okay, but what does that do?
Get you ready for surgery and drugs.
Gets you ready for a drug or a surgery. And you think you're getting it free because your insurance paid for it. It's funny, isn't it? So why do food manufacturers hydrogenate oil? Well, because the essential fatty acids in vegetable and seed oils go rancid in the presence of air. So just like the oils in flour that we previously discussed. So hydrogenation preserves the oils and extends their shelf life by chemically converting them into something unknown to the human body. So when you hydrogenate something, you're taking something that's a circular molecule and you're spreading it out. In most cases, you're heating it, and then you're doing a chemical process on it that sticks hydrogens into that molecule so it goes from being round to being flat. In other words, it goes from being oily to being solid at room temperature. Next. I think we talk about that here. During hydrogenation, a vegetable or seed oil is exposed to high temps and pressures in the presence of hydrogen gas and nickel. Interesting, isn't it? Want to know why everybody has so many heavy metal problems? The molecules are reassembled into a new form that is saturated with hydrogen atoms. This new synthetic substance has a higher melting point than the original oil, making it solid at room temperature. That's what your Crisco is. Fat's not supposed to be solid. You're 98 degrees. You're liquid, right? Your fat's not supposed to be solid, especially at room temperature. What's room temp? 70-something degrees, 75? The synthetic fat is then refined, bleached, deodorized, reflavored, and recolored. And then the food manufacturer is happy with no spoilage in shipping, and the grocer is happy with a long shelf life. So you've got all the 6 major food manufacturers in the world making all this crap for pennies on the dollar and then shipping it to the grocery store. And the grocery store is happy because we can keep it on the shelf longer. But it's good for the manufacturer, good for the grocer, but it sucks for you and it sucks for your health and it sucks for your kids because you're just buying cheap food thinking you're getting a deal. I say this in so many classes, like it used to be people spent 20% of their income on food, 5% of their income on medical care. Now, 40 years later, that was like in the 60s or 70s, 40 years later, they're spending 5% on food, 20% on medical care. And they still gripe about, coming to a place like this. It's crazy. They're saving themselves hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay, but then they'll still gripe about, the $5 that they were paying for their drugs that were killing them. The human body finds no nutritional benefit from fats that have been hydrogenated, hydrogen being added into those molecules. The liver has difficulty converting them into the usable forms because it can't recognize them because it has no idea what it is. Consumption of these fats has been shown to cause vitamin deficiency, interesting, right? Blood problems, liver toxicity, which then set the stage for gland, think hormones, blood, think heart, and blood problems, blood disorders. Well, I have this blood disorder that only 2 people in the world have, and there's only 1 surgeon in the entire world that understands this disease. No, you have something caused by man-made chemical stuff that was created just recently. That's what you have. Then you have heart problems and skin disorders. So all the dermatologists, all the cardiologists, all the vascular guys, and all the endocrinologists know this. They're just not telling you. They know it. They're not stupid. They're grown adult doctorate-trained physicians. They went to school for 14 years. Don't think they don't know this. The FDA now requires trans fats. See, they're transphobic right there. These people are transphobic. Can you believe this? The FDA requires trans fats, hydrogenated oils, and partially hydrogenated oils. See, partially hydrogenated means the same thing, only just not so many hydrogen atoms, right? To be listed on labels rather than continually hiding it in the listing of total fats. That's what they used to do until they got caught, the FDA. The same FDA that's telling you to take the shots, take the boosters, same FDA. Next. So then which fats and oils should I eat? Essential fatty acids should be eaten in whole foods that naturally contain them. Simple. Essential fatty acids. Where should I get the essential fatty acids? Well, probably the way where they're contained in the foods, naturally. Wild-caught fish, not farm-raised. How do you raise a fish on a farm? Tilapia, genetically modified tilapia, fed grains, genetically modified grains, corn and wheat, which is what a fish would never eat unless a human got in the middle of it. So people talking about the tilapia stuff, right? Well, I eat tilapia. It's good for you, right? It's fish. No, look at the package. It's farm-raised, and it's fed genetically modified grains. It's probably a genetically modified fish, right? Raw, not roasted nuts. That's why when we do the purification, there's no nuts and seeds, because people would just eat nuts and seeds all day long. And they'd eat roasted ones. No nuts and seeds. We force them by just straight brute force, basically, to eat vegetables and to understand what vegetables do to your body. Living food inside your body, right? Organic eggs, organic and naturally raised meats, unpasteurized milk, we'll talk more about that later, and dairy, organ meats of clean animals. Yuck, I don't like organs. I understand. Avocados and olives. So when fats and oils are separated from their source, from where they came from, during processing, like vegetable oils, seed oils, and nut oils, we must take a closer look at the process. Now, this is simple. This is really simple. This is really simple. When you separate something or you extract an oil from a food, it's either pressed in a mechanical device, smashed, it's called an expeller, or it's extracted using industrial solvents. Which one sounds better? Smash it or use chemical solvents to smash it? So expelling is obviously better, like we just discussed, than extraction. Pressure during the expeller pressing, though, hikes the temperature to 120 degrees. Whenever you add pressure to something, you're adding temperature to it, causing oxidation to happen 100 times faster than at room temp. So virtually no commercial oils are truly fresh, despite being labeled expeller pressed and unrefined. No commercially oils are truly fresh, despite the label that says expeller pressed or it might say unrefined. Hardly anything commercially available is fresh. Okay, next. We're almost done. Wow, we're flying. So what about salad dressings? Because the next thing that you're going to get when you convince people that, hey man, maybe you should drink, filtered water, and maybe you should put down the Diet Coke, and maybe we should get you eating some plants with some chlorophyll, which is the blood of plants, to replace your blood that's been inundated by drugs and vaccines and surgeries and anesthesia for decades. Maybe we should get you eating some green stuff. Once you get them there, next question that's coming is, well, what kind of salad dressing can I use? Is there a good ranch? Should I do fat-free ranch? Expeller-pressed, unrefined oils are not fresh. And refined oils are poisonous, as we discussed. So what do you use for putting on your salads? And for cooking, here goes. You can do extra virgin olive oil. It's pressed at cooler temperatures, and it's unrefined. But be warned that the term cold-pressed has no meaning because, well, an oil that is expeller-pressed and refined can be called cold-pressed since there was no heat applied during extraction. You didn't add any heat. You just added pressure, which adds the heat, but they can still call it cold-pressed, okay? Because you didn't add heat. Other healthy choices for salads include unrefined, refrigerated. You can do flax. You can do hemp oil. Well, but I don't want to get high. No, it's hemp. It's not weed. It's hemp. The chances are that every cooking oil you see on a shelf has been altered by heating and or refining. So the same thing that I tell people about over the last, 9 years, almost 10 years of doing this, it's like you find a good toothpaste and then you tell people about it. You find a good deodorant and then you tell people about it. Or you find a good thing at the store and you're like, okay, 7th generation, it's not as toxic as Tide. Well, finally, years ago, I finally grew tired of watching all the little tiny mom and pop companies become conglomerated by the big Palmolives and the Colgates and the Crest, and they all get sucked up by the big companies. So finally, I just realized I could just go do a blanket statement. Here it is. Ready? If it's in a store, if it's in a package, a box, a can, or a bag, and it's on a shelf at a store commercially available, it's bad for you. There you go. I said it. So what am I supposed to do? Well, as far as your supplements, as far as your food goes, get your food as much as you can from a farmer or from Misfits or from Butcher Box or from a CSA or some source of somewhere that you know what the name of the animal was before it was butchered or something. You go pet it, go take care of it. Know the farmer. Know the farmer who farmed your cattle or your chickens. Second thing is, if it's supplements, I would say don't get your supplements unless you're putting stuff in a time capsule for when the world comes back to normal. Don't get your supplements from a commercially available store, from like Costco. We did the class, what do I eat? And we did the class, what's in those supplements? And we compared, we showed some of the stuff that's actually available in Costco and Rite Aid and CVS and all that stuff. If it's in a commercial store available for your consumption, it's probably bad because there was a commercial on TV that convinced you to buy it, and that's how it got there. FYI. That's why everything we do here in this office is healthcare professional only. It's only available to healthcare professionals. Everything here. So other healthy choices, flax and hemp, and the chances are that every cooking oil you see has been heated or refined. Next. Such as, this is probably the most famous, probably the most sold Hidden Valley Ranch dressing in probably the United States. This is the one I've seen the most. Would you agree? It's probably fairly common, right? First ingredient, vegetable oil. What kind of vegetable? Soybean. And canola rather than canola. I don't know if they misspelled the thing. That wasn't us. Next ingredient, water, egg yolk. What kind of egg? You think that's farmer fresh egg, or you think that's confined animal feeding operation, genetically modified human embryo egg right there? Who knows, right? Then the third ingredient, sugar. See where I'm going with this? See how easy? It's right there. You can take one look at the ingredient label of this thing and go, nope, trash. There's a reason why it's 99 cents. Cultured non-fat buttermilk, natural flavors, more milk, more soy, and less than 1% of all these spices. But here's the best part, monosodium glutamate, artificial sweetener, artificial flavors, sorbic acid, calcium, EDTA, abbreviation. You do not want abbreviations in your food. Preservatives, yeah. So there's three different types of milk and 3 different types of soy in that thing right there. Isn't that crazy? That's the salad dressing that most of your people eat on their salads. And they think they're doing okay because they're eating lettuce. They're eating iceberg lettuce, 59 cents a head iceberg lettuce with nothing in it. And some Kraft cheese and a pile of croutons from some fake Italian place, right? Next. What about cooking oils? The best cooking fats are natural and contain saturated fat, which is more resistant to oxidation than unsaturated fats prevalent in plant oils. Where are you going to get saturated fats? Super easy. There's only two places. You either get it from plants, which they already told you, or you can get it from what's the other place? Animals. But wait. Haven't we been told forever that animal fats are bad for you? They lied to you. Of course they lied to you. So that the pharmaceutical company can lay in the wings and wait for you to have a stroke or a heart attack and then go, here's a drug. Because your body fell apart because you didn't have the animal parts, the fats and the proteins, to replace the stuff that was falling apart. That's why I never treat a vegetarian or a vegan. We'll talk more about that later. Oh, but no, that's in the questions at the very beginning, the top 20 questions, right there. Raw organic butter. Where does raw organic butter come from? Raw organic cows, right? Virgin coconut oil and virgin palm oil, great choices. You've been tricked to believe saturated fats increase heart disease, despite the absence of studies showing a link between the two. It's been 50 years. People have been sucking that down, and there's still no studies showing that it's true. You just believe what the media tells you, because it's on the news. The real dietary danger behind heart disease is the overconsumption of what? We've known it for, Royal Lee knew about it in the 1930s. Because he saw what happened with World War I with the processing of food and the shipping of it with preservatives across the world so that we could ship it to kill more people, right? He knew. He was a genius. He was a prophet. He was way ahead of his time. Saturated fat decreases the chances of heart disease. Let me think. Margarine, who made it? God or man? Man. Correct. Butter, who made it? God or man? Right. Period. Drop the mic, walk off the stage. That's it. That's all I need to know, right? Next. So, that being said, people also avoid fat due to the false belief that eating fat makes you fat. Evidence does not support this. Research and clinical evidence show that those who stop eating processed carbohydrates lose weight. Remember the 3 things you can eat, right? And then remember the one thing that everybody eats most of, and the reason that the other 2 things are falling apart, right? Carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Research and clinical evidence show that those who stop eating processed carbohydrates lose the weight. They don't have to work off the calories at the gym. They just don't eat them. The failure to eat sufficient fat can have tragic consequences. Consumption of fresh, unrefined oils and natural fats is the only way the body can get EFAs, as well as fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, K, that are critical to human health. Now, I wasn't even going to get into this. Vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K. These are the fat-soluble vitamins. What's vitamin A all about? If you were to label like one system of the body, skin. You've been told eyes. It's your skin. Vitamin A is your skin. What is vitamin D? What's that responsible for? If you were to label just one thing, immune system. Vitamin E, what's that all about? If you were to just label one word, one part of the body. Heart. Who said that? Very good. Vitamin K, what is that all about? Blood. Yes. I've never said this in a class before. Watch. When you get people to not eat fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K, right? Check this out. You don't have A, you don't have D, you don't have E, you don't have K. What was A again? What was D again? What was E? What was K? What are all the problems that people are facing today? Skin, immune, heart, and blood. You still think that fat-free, low-fat stuff they've been preaching to you since the 60s is helping you? People have more skin problems. People have more cancers. People have more heart disease, the top 2 killers in the United States and worldwide, other than abortion, right? And then people have blood clotting disorders and vascular problems. Look at that. It's right in the vitamins. I've never taught that in a class before, ever. But those are the big things. Vitamin A, you want to know why all the dermatology offices are going nuts? Because people don't have vitamin A, right? D, all the oncology centers. E, all the heart centers. And K, all the blood problems. Look at that. Blood pressure, all that. Crazy. That just occurred to me. I've never taught that before. That was a download right there. All right, next. Yeah, it's horrible. What is this? Anybody know? Does anybody have this? Anybody recognize this? This is Earth Balance vegan butter. So it's vegan. There's no monosodium glutamate. There's 0 gram transphobic fats, gluten-free, non-dairy, lactose-free, expeller pressed oils, right? Here's the ingredients. Vegetable oil blend. Palm fruit, canola, soybean, flax, and olive. Then water. Contains less than 2% of salt, natural flavor, pea protein, sunflower lecithin, lactic acid, and annatto color. So people who say, I'm vegan, I'm vegetarian, I don't like to kill the cuddly, fuzzy animals, they're killing themselves. Because I didn't write the book. I didn't create the animals. I didn't create you. I'm just telling people, you're supposed to eat plants and animals. I know you don't like the confined animal feeding operations and you don't like animals being treated unfairly. I don't either. You don't have to eat at McDonald's. But if you know your farmer and you know the food that they raise and you know they do it ethically and sustainably, then your vegetarianism and veganism is just a new age religion. It's where it came from to begin with. So I hate to tell you that, but that is vegan butter. You know how many people come in here and they think they're doing something good? They're eating vegan butter and it's killing them. It's making them sick because it's fake. It's all fake. Next. That's Earth Balance vegan butter. Yeah. What about my seasonings? All I'm going to say is this. This is probably one of the top questions that we get. Like, how do I do my chicken soup or my beef bouillon? Did I say that right? Bouillon? Bouillon. I don't think I've ever said that word before. Bouillon. I feel like I'm a rapper. Bouillon. B-O-U-I-L-L-O-N. That just doesn't make sense. No wonder I don't use it. I don't use it. Beef bouillon, we get people coming in all the time asking, how do I do my soups, right? Isn't that the soups? Here's the Knorr, K-N-O-R-R. Does anybody know what this is? Has anybody ever used this? This is what is in the little cubes for your beef bouillon. Salt, number one ingredient. Monosodium glutamate. What is monosodium glutamate? MSG. MSG is a toxic artificial sweetener to inspire you to eat more. It reprograms your neurology. Basically, it's eating holes in your brain, basically, right? Palm oil, hydrogenated beef fat. So what they do, they took beef fat, they hydrogenated it, they stuck more hydrogen atoms into it to take it from liquid to solid at room temperature. Cornstarch, hydrogenated soybean oil, sugar, dried beef, hydrolyzed corn protein. That means corn protein that's been chemically altered, right? Maltodextrin, which is another chemically altered, genetically modified corn byproduct, right? Natural flavor, yeast extract, caramel color, dehydrated parsley, turmeric for color. Oh, thank God, they finally put something good in there, but it's fake. Disodium inosinate, citric acid spice, and disodium guanylate. And that is what everybody uses from Unilever, no less. That's what everybody uses for their beef bouillon to make healthy soup. Mexico? Oh, yeah, product in Mexico. Yeah, look at that. And Unilever. And look at it, it's got nothing in it. See, look, when you look at a nutrition facts label, see the things that they look at: fats, proteins, carbohydrates. They put the fats in bold, protein and carbohydrate. See? The things that you can actually digest as a human, right? But then to confuse you, they put sodium and calories here in the same font to get you afraid of salt and to get you afraid of the calories. But really, you just need to know that in this thing, beef bouillon, there should be some kind of fat, right? Because it's beef. Tracking with me? How much fat is there? How the hell did that happen? I thought it was beef. A buttload of sodium, right? Because it's just boom, right there. Not that sodium should be your enemy, but total carbohydrate, less than a gram. Protein, less than a gram. One serving is 6 grams. So what the hell's in it? Nothing. Chemicals. You've got a gram right here. You've got a gram, less than a gram, less than a gram. You got less than 3 grams of stuff there. What's the other 3 grams? See, those are the questions you need to be asking. The math doesn't add up. And you can do the same little exercise I just showed you with your cereal, your bagels, your Pop-Tarts, your noodles, all your rice, all of it. You can do the same thing. Fat, carbs, protein. Those are the only 3 things you can eat, but they're going to freak you out with the sodium and the calories. Same font. Yep, never taught that before either. Okay, next. You guys are getting all kinds of bonuses just for me going on vacation. Isn't that great? Okay, what the food? What does WTF stand for?
What the food?
Oh, yeah, okay. Testimonials.
Okay, this patient wrote, I was on a couple of medications and feeling depressed and unhopeful about my health situation. After becoming a patient at Divine Design, I am now much happier and more hopeful that the Lord has given my body the ability to heal itself when I'm feeling it properly. You guys are distracting.
Oh, sorry. We were talking about you.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, how'd you know? How'd you know? Were you being loud? Probably. Okay. Me reading about all these new medical mysteries since the vaccine started. Medical mysteries. Y'all know that's happening, right? Y'all know what's going on in the world? Medical mysteries, people dropping dead, crazy stuff. We already talked a little bit about it, but you're going to see some crazy stuff. It's even going to get worse next. So if police shoot someone, it's always the officer's fault, right? Perfect. But a bad guy shoots a person, it's the gun's fault, along with the gun manufacturer and the NRA. Got it. Got it. How to tell if you're being manipulated. Is your television on? Yes. Is the news on? Yes. You're being manipulated. Yeah. When the prey is armed, predators think twice. Look at that. He could easily take him out if the porcupine didn't have some heavy-duty weapons, right? Look at that. He's just sitting there like a little lost puppy, like a little lost kitty cat. Isn't that crazy? How many of you watch, any of the, Mutual of Omaha stuff or the years ago with what's his face?
Marlon Perkins.
Marlon Perkins, yes, Marlon Perkins, or like all the new, Planet Earth, Blue Planet, Predator Prey stuff. Yeah, National Geographic. It's armor. It's armor versus predator versus prey. Yeah. Next. The movie Troy, there's a scene that's famous, and this is it. But this is not what the kid says. The kid is down here talking to Achilles, and the kid says, "I could never do that." Well, in this case, the kid's saying, "I can't share that meme. Too many people will get offended." And then Achilles says, "That's why no one will remember your name." I love it. You're going to see this movie and you're going to see that scene and you're going to go, that's what he was talking about. It's a brilliant scene, right at the very beginning. Even if you don't watch the whole movie, just watch the first 5 minutes. Next. That's why no one will remember your name. There wouldn't be grocery store shortages right now if we ate our vegetables instead of electing them. A caveat to that is he wasn't elected.
That's right. That's right.
Next, but it's not just him, it's all the other people.
Yeah.
The majority of experts say that, whoa, shut up. Let me stop you right there, my friend. I couldn't care less what the majority of experts say. The majority of people who follow the majority of experts are obese, chronically ill, depressed, weak, spiritually disconnected. I'm not interested. I don't care what the experts say. The experts have been telling you, don't eat animals, go vegetarian, eat the vegan butter. The experts have been telling you, drink the tap water, take the drugs, take the vaccine. The experts have been telling you the same crap for decades. It's just that they finally started tripping over their own lies and people started seeing through it within the last 2.5 years. But I'll tell you what, they've been doing the same stuff with the vaccines for decades. You just noticed it 2 years ago. Next. Thomas Jefferson said every citizen should be a soldier. This was the case with the Greeks and Romans and must be that of every free state. Wake up. Let's do it. Let's get going. Next. Veterans get 1 day, and this gets a month. How this is even happening is beyond me. But the girls have expressed explicit orders. Every girl who works in this office. If anybody comes in here wanting to argue with you about their preferred pronouns, I don't care what I'm doing. I don't care if I'm giving life-saving CPR to somebody. You come and get me, and we're going to have a talk. And we're going to talk probably out in the parking lot, but we're going to have a talk. Don't you dare let anybody bring that here at all. That right there is a travesty. And my question is, do all these people get along? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. They're very confused individuals and possessed. Next. What about milk? So this is the last big question. So what about milk? Okay, so people need to know. People are afraid of milk. They've been watching the commercials in the 80s. Milk does a body good with the milk mustaches, all the supermodels and all the sports stars. Milk does a body good. Milk does a body good. Well, that's not milk. That's what we were all taught was milk from a young age, but that's not milk. Here's what milk is. Raw milk provides a perfect abundance of unaltered fats, minerals, vitamins, and intact amino acids. Who made milk? God or man? God. Who altered milk? God or man? Man. So what we're eating now, what we're drinking now, the milk, is it God or man? Man. Correct. When proteins are heated, amino acids are destroyed. The other word for that is denatured. So like if you look at a piece of like a protein or something like that and it says denatured whey protein, what that means is it was heated. It was denatured. The nature was taken out of it. It's not natural. So destroyed, when you heat a protein, the amino acids are destroyed. Like your eggs, when you crack an egg and the heat hits it, it destroys that protein in it and it goes from liquid to solid. So you're denaturing the protein in the egg, but it's just heat. Here they do it with chemicals and they do it with high pressure in most cases, right? But when proteins are heated, amino acids are destroyed. Just know that. Pasteurized milk is a non-food. Pasteurized milk is a non-food. If you fed a baby calf pasteurized milk, it would die within 2 weeks. Wow. How long are you feeding your baby calves at home? Pasteurized milk? Decades. I grew up drinking it, right? And I also had a buttload of skin problems and a buttload of allergies. So just let that sink in. Pasteurization leads to what doctors Royal Lee and Francis Pottinger, you want to know who those guys are. Royal Lee, same dude. Francis Pottinger, we haven't talked about him yet this class, but that was in What's in the Supplements and the What Do I Eat class too. But if you want to know more about those guys, you should know about Pottinger's cats. But both of these doctors referred to pasteurization. What pasteurization led to, they referred to as cooked foods diseases, such as arthritis, degenerative bone syndromes. So you got all these people with crappy arthritis in joints and their hips and knees are falling apart. It's because they're not getting the proteins and the fats that make up their hips and knees. It's so simple. It's right under your nose. It's right in front of your face, but nobody's told you this, right? Without raw milk's essential amino acids, essential meaning what? Your body can't make them itself. Essential from another source. That's what that means. Without raw milk's essential amino acids, the body's main connective tissue, collagen, degenerates and is broken down more quickly. What are your joints made of? Collagen. What's your skin made of? Collagen. What are your arteries and nerves made of? And arteries and veins made of? Collagen. So if you have a blowout of an artery or a vein in your brain, what's it called? Aneurysm. Or a stroke. If you have a blowout in your aorta, what's it called? Aortic aneurysm. Aortic and aneurysm of the aorta, right? An aneurysm anywhere is just a blowout of an artery, right? If you have a blowout in the veins and you got a bundle of grapes hanging out of your booty, what's that called? Hemorrhoids. If you've got artery blow-ups in your veins and your arteries in your legs, what's that called? Varicose veins. If you have a blowout in your skin and you can see little angioma, little angiomas, well, I just gave you, what's that called? Spider angiomas, right. All of those are the same problem. What's the breakdown? Every one of those, from a stroke to a bundle of grapes hanging out of your butt, what's it called? What's the problem? Collagen is degenerating. The arteries and the veins are breaking down. Varicose veins, huh? Possibly, if you start early enough. The question was, can you get your collagen back? I don't know. Every person's different. We can check them and see. But I'll tell you what, how they're going to fix it, how they're going to fix veins, I'll tell you right now. I'll save you watching the 2 o'clock in the morning infomercials. Here's how they fix it. 3 ways. They cauterize the entire vein and burn it, shutting it and scarring it. Or they inject super glue into it and squeeze it together so it bonds. I'm serious. This is what they do. Or they put an electric probe into it and just shock it together, basically. Or no. The other one is they fill it with foam. Those are actual patented procedures that some of these vascular places do. You'll see them I mean, they're massive offices. They have 60, 80 offices across the United States. You'll see their infomercials all night. It's called the Vein Company. Yeah, that's how they fix your varicose veins. They'll cauterize it, they'll fill it with super glue, and squeeze it together and get it to bond on itself, because super glue was originally created as a battle dressing. It was a way to close bullet wounds. That's what super glue was created for. That's why it sticks your fingers together. But then the other way they'll do it is they'll put foam in there. That's how they do it. So when you have your aunts and your uncles and people who are going in to get their veins fixed, they're not getting their veins fixed. They're going to have, because when you have those highways that are closed, what's going to happen to the blood that still has to get from point A to point B? They're going to go where? Down other highways. It's just going to take years for them to show up or months for them to show up. You're going to think it's fixed, but it's not fixed. And now you've got foreign material in your arteries. So you're going to be diagnosed with what? An autoimmune condition. So the collagen. So you got a blowout anywhere in your body. It's the same problem. You're eating bad collagen or you're not getting enough collagen. Next. Contrary to advertisements regarding milk as a source of calcium, pasteurized milk does not promote bone building. Without the raw milk enzyme phosphatase, which is destroyed by pasteurization, calcium cannot bond to bone. Many people who experience digestive trouble with pasteurized milk have no problems with raw milk. Why do we destroy nature's most ancient and perfect food? Because pasteurization allows farmers to sell unsanitary milk to dairies where it will be heat sterilized to disguise the lack of cleanliness resulting from chemically altered cattle. Usually genetically modified, antibiotic, growth hormoned, filthy, nasty animals that are then putting it in their milk. And then you're feeding it to your kid and you're wondering what's wrong. I thought milk did a body good. That's it, right? Pasteurized milk also undergoes homogenization. What is that? It's to break down the milk's fat molecules so that the cream content is no longer visible. High cream content indicates high quality milk. The producer of homogenized milk can mix all grades of milk together, removing incentives for the farmer to produce quality milk, right? Now, I'll say it right now. When the camera shuts down, I'll talk about what you can do about milk, okay? But homogenization, also know, homogenization, pasteurization, we talked about, what was the class where we talked about the germ theory, germs and genes? Pasteurization. If you want to go back and watch the class, any idea? I can't remember right now. But the germs and genes. We talk about Louis Pasteur and Antoine Beauchamp and what pasteurization comes from Louis Pasteur, just FYI. So you're getting a crappy subprime product if you're buying store-bought milk, which once again proves my hypothesis that if it's in the store on the shelf, it's bad for you. Next. Other dairy products made from raw milk are excellent as well. Aging and fermentation processes used in producing cheese, kefir, and yogurt make milk nutritious and highly digestible. Notice, I did not say Kraft, and I did not say Chobani, I did not say Dannon, and I did not say Yoplait. Okay? Look at the ingredients of Dannon and Yoplait. You get back to me on that. As mentioned before, raw butter is one of the best sources of fat available. We talked about that when we talked about what oils to cook with. Raw milk is illegal in some states. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Not on nutritional grounds, but for fear of contamination because they care about you so much, right? Next. And then finally, the last question that we're going to hit is, what about sugar? I'm not even going to get into it, but we did a whole class on it called The Most Evil Substance in the World. If you or someone you know is having a problem with sugar, this class will get them past it. This class will wake them up and make them go, yeah, I need to get off this crap. It's worse than, right, Christy? Right? It's worse than heroin. It kills more people than all the Suboxone in the world every day, all the time. Your relatives are dying because they have this right here in the cafeteria and the vending machines at the cardiac centers where they're doing a triple bypass on your uncle. Right? Next. And then beyond that, you can already answer these questions. You don't even have to ask them. You can already answer these questions now that you know what you know from what we previously talked about. What's processed food? What's processed dairy? What about protein powder? What about soy? What about sauces? You can answer those now, right? Next. Here's one that somebody came in a little while ago, and this isn't poking fun at anybody, but this is just something that I put in here because it was recent. and because she thought she was doing really well, because she was drinking Celsius. It says, Live Fit, a uniquely blended formula with healthy energy and key vitamins, makes Celsius an ideal pre-workout drink. So it's available at any store, I guess. It's low in sodium. They make you afraid of salt, right? And contains 0 sugar. What does that tell you? 0 sugar tells you there's an artificial sweetener in there. It says there's no aspartame, notice, and no artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. This energy drink is also certified, this is hilarious. It's certified vegan, it's kosher, and it's non-GMO. So if you didn't know anything and you read this, they got you, right? Its proprietary formula contains green tea extract. Wait, I've heard of that. I think that's pretty healthy. And EGCG. Wait, I've heard of that. Yeah, wow, this has some good stuff in it. Maybe I should pay $12 a gallon for it. But it also contains guarana seed extract, ginger root for flavor and digestion, vitamin C to support your immune system, vitamin B for energy production, and chromium to help control hunger. Well, hot diggity, I found the elixir of life. I think I should buy one for grandma too. Maybe I should get a 12-pack. Experience a whole new side of Wildberry with Celsius Sparkling Wildberry Fitness Drink. God, it's a fitness drink. I can't believe they packed all this into one product. It's carbonated and has the perfect balance of flavor and energy that serves as an awesome pick-me-up for active lifestyles. Celsius is available in 12 ounce, and you can, oh, there it is, a 12-pack. Hallelujah, look at that. Essential energy drink with 200 milligrams of caffeine, no sugar, no sodium, no preservatives, no artificial flavors or colors, 7 essential vitamins, gluten-free, kosher, non-GMO, certified vegan, carbonated. Great. What are the ingredients? Carbonated filtered water, vegetable juice for color, citric acid, natural flavors. Oh my goodness. What's that one? Not sugar. They tricked you. They made it look like sucrose. It's not sucrose, it's sucralose. What is sucralose? It's an artificial sweetener, just like aspartame. But they said there's no aspartame. They're right. There's no aspartame, there's sucralose. See how they get you? But you have to know what that is. But most people would think it's sugar. It just looks like table sugar, sucrose, right? No, it's not table sugar. It's a toxic, artificially created, artificial sweetener created in a laboratory by atheists to kill humans in a time of war. It's a biological, neurological warfare toxin. And you and almost everyone you know is sucking it down at a breakneck speed and paying money to finance your own funeral. And that was a 15-year-old girl bringing that in. She just brought it in, drinking it, and I said, what the hell you carry? Why? What is in your hand? And she just handed it. Put the fear of God in some of these people. Yeah. But then you show her, you just go look it up. You take a 30-second, just 30 seconds. Look it up, turn the computer around and go, here, read this. And she looks at it and goes, oh yeah, wow, I didn't know that. That's how easy it is. That's how easy you can do this. You can just look up what's in the stuff. You just have to know a few key words, right? Like sucralose. Don't skip over it. They put an extra syllable in there to trick you. But that's how easy it is. Okay. Last commercial break, then we're done. Yay! Lauren, yay!
This patient wrote, I did many fad diets before coming here, including keto and vegetarian-based diets. I was losing weight but felt awful, all to gain it back and feel even worse after. A couple weeks of learning how to eat has completely changed my eating lifestyle. I feel great and my body now handles the weight loss for me. I have lost 30 pounds and it is staying off and I feel healthy and satisfied for once.
Wow. Simple. We don't have the budget of Jenny Craig or of Weight Watchers, but you know what? We're doing big things. It's fabulous. Okay, meme wars. School shootings weren't a problem for Generation X. It started with Generation RX. Every school shooting, well, they're staged, but every school shooting is also medicated.
Oh, what, staged?
They're staged.
Yeah.
They're staged. So the FBI is doing, drills right nearby on all of these school shootings. It's unbelievable. And they admit it. It's unbelievable. Yep, MK Ultra, absolutely. Oh, promise of God, not a symbol of pride. Makes me absolutely crazy. Makes me crazy. I've quoted this guy many times. He's an old school 1800s medical doctor. Here it is. The person who takes medicine must recover twice. Once from the disease and once from the medicine. Well, I only take 2 of my meds. You know, just the blood pressure stuff. well, stop right there. No, you're poisoning yourself every day because you've been tricked that your heartbeat is a disease. You've been tricked. Admit that you've been tricked and stop poisoning your blood. That's what you're doing. Is anybody else going to have the nuts to tell you that? Probably not. I will. I'll tell you. You're killing yourself. This guy said this in the 1800s. The person who takes medicine must recover twice. Once from the disease that they're taking the medicine for, and then once from the medicine because the medicine is what? It's poison. It's all poison. It's not natural. So don't go to your doctor and think that your medical doctor is going to give you herbs and berries. It's illegal for him to do that. It's illegal for him not to give you a drug or a surgery. Did you know that? It's illegal. If he doesn't give you a drug or a surgery, his license goes away, and he's not going to sacrifice his license and his kid's private school education for you to have herbs. He's not. He just won't. I promise. Next. The vaccinated whole food shoppers are my favorite, buying non-GMO foods when they themselves are a GMO. Ain't that the truth? Genders, female and male, and then all the other mental disorders, which will be treated by what? Puberty blocking drugs and gender reassignment surgeries. See the pattern? Drugs and surgeries. Even though half of this is demonic manifestation, they will still be treated with drugs and surgery. And then in another 5 years, if we last that long, they'll look back on their mutilated parts and say, why did I do this? Right? But the kids will be ruined, right? Next. Pretty insane. 90% of foods in grocery stores didn't even exist 100 years ago, and neither did 90% of the diseases. Jesus didn't eat with sinners and tax collectors. Oh no, hold on, going back. Jesus didn't eat with sinners and tax collectors because he wanted to appear inclusive, tolerant, and accepting. He ate with them to call them to a changed and fruitful life, to die to self and live for him. His call is transformation of life, not affirmation of identity. Everybody pull out your phones, take a picture of that stinking thing right there. Everybody needs that one. That's a good one. I didn't think of this. I just, copied it. Of course. But that's right there. But see, they don't want affirmation. They want affirmation of identity, and they want acceptance of everything. It's agreement. They want us to agree with everything, but you can't. You can't agree with everything. If guns didn't exist, people wouldn't kill each other. Before guns, oh my gosh, the Black Knight on top of an armored horse, stuffing a lance through the guy's helmet. That's hilarious. Not for this guy, but for that guy. Are you celebrating pride? No. Why not? I'm celebrating humility instead. I was reading the other day, and the Bible actually says God hates pride in many places. Tells you where we're at. So, as kind of a summary, I want you to see this, how your body rebuilds itself in less than 365 days. Fact, your entire body rebuilds itself in 2 years. 98% of it is less than 365 days. So every cell in your body dies and is replaced by new cells. Every day is a new opportunity to build a new body. The only thing they left out right here is everything is replaced by new cells. But what do the new cells use as substrate? What do the old cells use to build new cells? The food you eat, which is why everyone you know is sicker than hell, right? Your DNA renews itself, your skin, your blood, your brain, your liver, your stomach, your bones, everything. So when you eat crappy food, you can say, well, it was a graduation party. Yeah, I get it. Well, it was a wedding. And yeah, this was just a bad week. Well, you've had 12 bad weeks in a row. So that was 4 months, 3 months. Well, yeah, we had. I know you're all laughing because you know it's all true. Well, we had neighbors, that came over, and yeah, your neighbors never came over before. Well, yeah, we had family that were in town, and yeah, and they were living with us, and we didn't want to cause problems, and this and that. Oh, okay, so you just back down and you let them steamroll you, and you ate crappy food for the 4 days they were here. Yeah, what about the other 26 days of the month? So it's like you hear all of these things, and people forget this one fact. Once it's in you, it's not like you just poop it out and move on. That's what people think. But it becomes your blood. It becomes you. You consume it. It becomes your bone marrow. It becomes your skin. You want to know why your hair is falling out? It becomes your hair. So if you're going to spend money on anything, should it be a fancy truck or a big house or a new air conditioner? if you're going to spend money on anything, the price of living healthy on planet Earth, I should say, the plane of Earth, the price of living on Earth in this world is your food. Anyone who tells you anything else is lying to you. Anyone who tells you, take this drug, and doesn't ask you what you had for breakfast is straight up lying to you. Period. Does that make sense? You can't build your DNA. You can't build your skin. You can't build your liver, your stomach, your bones. You can't replace your stomach lining without food. Ask somebody in the nursing home who's being fed a cup of pills with crappy food, how long are they really going to last? Right? Right. And who's paying for the nursing home? They are. See? They're being robbed blind. So this is happening to your aunts, your uncles, your grandma, your grandpa. It's happening to everybody you know because they don't know this stuff. And you got to get out there and risk offending somebody. I'll bet you'll help them because the truth will set you free, but first it's going to make you very, very, very upset. Right? Okay. I think that's it. Anything else? Oh, 4 channels of elimination right here. This is it. These are the only 4 ways stuff gets out of your body. So once it gets in you, you have to pee it out, you have to poo it out, you have to breathe it out, or you have to sweat it out. Well, most people don't do this one anymore because we've got central AC. Most people have a hard time going up steps. So breathing is hard a lot of times. Or they're on a CPAP machine. They've got a machine doing it for them. A lot of people are constipated, so they're pooping once a week. And if they do pee, they're peeing 8 or 10 times a day, and they think that's too much because some doctor told them that, right? Those are the 4 ways out. Women, you have a 5th one, menstruation. Guys, you don't have that one. But that's it right there. Any questions on any of this before we sign off? Questions? Thoughts? Cries of outrage? Anything else? And then don't let me forget, I want to tell everybody about the milk thing when we're not on camera.
I have recently
Microphone. Yeah. Questions. I'll take 2 more questions after this, then we're out of here. Yes.
I've recently heard that the FDA has approved that corporations can change ingredients without changing the labels.
I would. You trust the FDA with anything? Me either. Can they change the labels without changing the ingredients? They've probably been doing it for years. That's why anything with a label on it, try to stay away from it. Do tomatoes come with labels on them? No. Does broccoli come with a label on it? When you go down to the farmer's market or the CSA or you order stuff, does it come with a label on it? No, because you don't have to put any ingredients on it. But if it's in a box, a can, or a bag, guess what? They can change that. Absolutely. Could it be contaminated? Even if they didn't change the ingredients, could it be contaminated and poisonous? Yep, absolutely. 2 more questions or observations. Christy, what'd you get out of? Oh no, you don't like being put on the spot. Sorry. Yes. Hold on for a microphone. Nobody can hear you on the
organic market corrupt itself?
The what now?
Isn't it that the organic markets are corrupt itself by the FDA because they pay for the labels?
Is it what? Is it? Did the
corrupt? Also, there's a part of a corruption in the organic market. Certain
I'm
like
sure.
the Walmarts and that.
Oh yeah.
They'll pay the FDA to pay for that label so they enhance their profit margin. So everything's
Sure.
a bottom line corporation mentality.
Absolutely.
Corrupts the FDA, corrupts all the markets.
Absolutely.
So you have to watch where you're buying that organic food.
Yeah.
That's what I know.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, they're paying for the labels and paying
So you
people
gotta be
off like they
careful
have
where-
forever.
So you got to look for that too.
Yeah. So try to get as much stuff as you can from local people or grow it yourself and try not to do the bags and the cans and the boxes,
Another one.
Yeah.
I know a scientist researcher that worked for the FDA gave me a secret that the Asian seafood in the farms, like tilapia, is basically underneath the chicken farms. So when the chickens
Perfect.
let go of their E. coli, it goes down into the water and they eat that, and then they
Yep.
bombard the fish with the antibiotics, and that's what we're getting.
Of course.
So you got to watch where you're buying that.
Yeah. And they
especially
probably
fish.
radiate it.
And that's what happens. And I've been told by a researcher
Yep.
from
I
the
believe
FDA.
I believe it. And then they probably radiate the fish and stick
Antibiotics
some,
into the max.
pump some
and they don't get
graphene
all the
oxide in it and ship it
bacteria
over
out.
here.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah, it makes sense. Don't eat tilapia. Eat
It's fish, period, from Asia.
farm raised.
Yes.
Right. So that's why I
Maybe
don't do farm raised. Right. Don't do farm raised and do only ocean caught, wild caught as much as you can fish. That's a deep ocean because guess what? With what you know now about fat, in order for a fish to swim really, really deep water wild caught fish, they have to be really, really fatty so they don't freeze due to the really cold water. The only way that you're not going to freeze to death is if you have a lot of oil in your body that won't freeze. Right? So those deep fish, the deeper they swim, the healthier they are for you. Cold water. Yep. Cod, halibut, salmon, stuff like that. Yep.
Question about eggs.
Eggs.
If you're getting non-GMO and organic eggs, can you eat those raw?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, people did for a long time. Yeah. Yeah, but
so,
organic.
I mean, because they
Yeah, but just make sure they're whatever kind of feed, they should just be eating grass. But if they do any type of feed, make sure it's organic feed.
because they were for a period of time they were saying don't eat any egg. You be sure to cook
Who's
your
they?
eggs. They is they. They them and
The FDA. Yeah, they made you afraid of eggs for a long time because of cholesterol.
well,
Is that what you're
because
saying?
of
Salmonella.
Yeah,
Well, that
if
too.
you eat raw. But so you would recommend
You can do raw.
cracking an egg in
Put them
your
in your shakes. Pop
shake.
them in your mouth.
Okay.
Put one in your purse. Take it with you. Crack it on the bus. Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing wrong with boiling or cooking.
Cooking eggs? No. Good questions. Yes.
So how come we don't have polar bears on the market?
How come we don't have polar bears on the market? They're hard to catch. And they're endangered because of climate change. Yeah. We don't want to take down the polar bears because they're already endangered. They are hard to catch. What, you never tried to catch a polar bear? Okay. And we'll shut off everything, and then I'll tell you a little something that we can't say with the cameras rolling. So, in what's the next date? July 18th. July 18th. There is no such thing. You do not have a chemical imbalance, right? And then from that point on, it's every 2 weeks on Mondays, 6 p.m. So get people here, let them know. Except for August 2nd, yes, that's a Tuesday, and there's a guest speaker, and it's going to be Docs Gone Wild. And I am Dr. Brett Spradlin, and this is Divine Design Natural Health. We are out of here. We'll see you in a while.